Man, things are getting heated in Edmonton, and it's not just the dead of winter chill out there. There's chatter buzzing around the room, players getting questioned, and one thing coming through loud and clear. Either this team finds its footing now, or the pressure is going to blow the doors off. Between the uncertainty in net, the decisions that could swing the entire season, and a bit of hope coming from the young guys, Oil Country is riding one wild wave. The real question is whether this roster can handle the grind. You're not going to believe what we've got today. So settle in, hit that like button, and let's get right to it. There are certain conversations Oilers fans know by heart, and none of them sting more than the one that starts between the pipes. It feels like every year, when things get tight, the same ghost shows up. Who's actually going to hold the crease when the heat ramps up? And here we are again in 2025, Edmonton dealing with that same chill down the spine. The patience in this city is razor thin. The debate around Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard is boiling over, and even the most careful insiders can't keep the lid on it. Frank Saravalli didn't sugarcoat a thing. If you're starting to wonder whether Skinner is really the guy, that's a fair question right now. And it is. This is a goalie who's played 118 games over 3 seasons with a .900 save percentage, a number that doesn't exactly let anyone sleep easy. Skinner's had big nights, even outdueling Jake Oettinger in a conference final. But when the bar is a Stanley Cup, there's no room for slip-ups. Saravalli spelled it out. A league-average goalie doesn't win you the whole thing. But it's not just the stats, it's the situation. The Oilers have zero wiggle room under the cap, and truth be told, not many trade chips to toss around. Even if you wanted a big swing, who's actually out there? Calvin Pickard is the backup for a reason. Steady guy, great teammate, loved in the room, but clearly not someone built to take the wheel long-term. His numbers say it all. A .221 record, GAA north of .400, save percentage at .36. That's the kind of line that screams that the clock is ticking. And that's the nasty fork in the road for Edmonton. Saving money seems smart right up until the moment you realize the bargain is costing you points. Meanwhile, teams like Boston, New York, Colorado, they roll out tandems that can steal a game on any given night. Juuse Saros? Forget it. Saravalli already crushed that idea. Long contract, up and down play, and a price tag that would handcuff this team until 2030. No agent alive could make that make sense. Then there's the yearly myth of the goalie market. John Gibson, Jake Allen, same names, every season. They float around, never quite land. Nobody gives up a good goalie unless they've got another ready to roll. So what's the play here? Maybe the answer is on the blue line. Because let's be honest, this goes deeper than Skinner's glove hand. When the defense is leaving gaps the size of White Avenue at last call, and shooters are walking into the slot untouched, not even Vasilevsky is bailing you out. Maybe instead of hunting for a hero, it's time to fix the structure. Collapse better. Defend as a 5-man unit. Give the goalie a fair shot. Because if this keeps up, the Oilers are staring down another wasted year of McDavid and Draisaitl, carrying a weight nobody can drag to a cup alone. And that's not even the wildest part of the day. If there's one guy who's won over everyone in that Oilers room, it's Calvin Pickard. Respected, well-liked, the glue guy, the one chirping in practice, cracking jokes when the mood tightened, keeping the room from going stale. But let's be real here. Chemistry doesn't win game. And as painful as it is to say it about someone universally loved, Pickard's play this season has become a problem Edmonton can't keep kicking down the road. After that game against Columbus, the truth was impossible to ignore. A .417 GAA and a .830 save percentage, worst among goalies with at least 5 starts. That's the kind of stat line that rattles even the sunniest fan. 6 games, same story every night. Inconsistent saves, rough rebounds, and the feeling that any routine shot could find twine. It's tough to watch. Honestly, the posts have been more reliable than Pickard on some nights. And it stings because we all remember what he did last year. In the playoffs, no one expected a thing from him, and he came in calm as ever, shut the door, and gave the team real, honest-to-God stability. Fans here will always appreciate that. But hockey doesn't care about yesterday. Gratitude doesn't move the scoreboard, and if the team needs 6 goals to scrape out a win, something's broken behind the forward. Sure, you can blame the defense, the system, all of it, and some of that is fair. But those numbers don't lie. Pickard isn't holding games right now, and if this keeps up, any hope of a real playoff push is going to slip away. Stan Bowman knows it. Around Rogers Place, people are already murmuring about a low-cost, quick-impact backup. That's what the cap allows, and that's what the situation demands. This isn't about disrespecting Pickard, not even close. It's about seeing what's happening on the ice. He gave everything he had, stood tall when the team needed him. But this version of him isn't the foundation Edmonton needs. And with the defense scrambling as much as it is, that uncertainty is spreading through the whole lineup. It's a chain reaction. Hesitation in net, nervous blue line, forwards forcing plays, tempo out the window. What hits hardest for fans is how familiar it all feels. Same script, different year. Fast start, promises of stability. Then a slide, and suddenly the entire load is dumped on the goalie. Maybe it's finally time to break the pattern, bring in fresh blood in the crease, and take that weight off Pickard's shoulders. Which makes what comes next even more interesting. There's a different vibe in Edmonton this season. It's not just about wins and losses, or the noise from the fan base. There's this feeling of transition. After years of leaning on vets, pricey deals, and quick fixes, it seems like the Oilers are finally facing the inevitable. They're giving the younger guys room to breathe. But the path to a youth movement is never smooth, and this experiment is already testing the nerves of oil country. The 80s still hang over this franchise like a golden shadow. 5 Stanley Cups, one of the greatest dynasties the league has ever seen. Since then, it's been a carousel of hope, frustration, bold trades, and rebuilds that never quite settle. And now, with McDavid and Draisaitl in their prime, the window feels like it's narrowing. That's the backdrop for Stan Bowman's shift in direction. Betting on youth was a gutsy move, maybe even a desperate one, but it was needed. Matt Savoy, Ike Howard, Noah Philp, Alec Regula, David Tomasek, they're the new core. Each one a different kind of gamble. Savoy started slow, barely getting any time with McDavid or Draisaitl. But once he finally hopped over the boards with the big guns, he showed exactly what fans here love: tenacity, heart. In 3 recent games, he's done enough to argue that he belongs on that line. He's still raw, no question, but the spark he brings shifts momentum. Howard is the perfect example of the crossroads this team is stuck in. Solid offensive flashes with barely any minutes, but on the verge of being sent back to Bakersfield. It's the classic dilemma. Do you give the kid space to grow, or lean on the familiar comfort of veterans? Oilers fans have seen this story before, and rushing prospects is a mistake this city knows all too well. Sending Howard down again would feel like repeating history. Then you've got Philp and Regula, hovering between potential and invisibility. Philp fights for every shift, but he hasn't shown enough in the face-off circle or with the physical game. Regula, hurt again, is a mystery box. Insiders swear that with steady minutes, he could help stabilize the back end. And Tomasek, at 29, knows this is likely his last shot. He has no time left for slow starts. All of this builds into one electric storyline, a team balancing its past, present, and future, without knowing if today's roster can survive long enough to see the payoff. Bowman shocked a lot of people by holding on to the vets at the deadline and choosing to see what the kids can bring. And honestly, that could reshape this entire era of Oilers hockey. Maybe not with immediate success, but growth isn't cheap. The future starts right now, and the only thing missing is belief. If these young guys turn experience into consistency, that Stanley Cup roar could echo through Edmonton again sooner than anyone expects. So here we are, oil country. Between the questions in net, the hard decisions on aging pieces, and the spark coming from the youth, the Edmonton Oilers are standing at a crossroads that will shape more than just this season. It's going to set the direction of the franchise. Everything happening right now is part of something bigger, with bumps along the way, sure, but plenty of real hope too. Because at the end of the day, the lifeblood of this team never changes. It's the passion of its fans. So tell me this, if you were Bowman, what would you do? Drop your thoughts, hit that like button, and let's ride this out together.